We are officially at the halfway point of the NFL season. So let's hand out some halfway point awards. We based all the categories on memes in a shallow attempt to appeal to a younger audience.
Player or team that isn't getting talked about enough, we're handing out the I Owe You an Apology, I Wasn't Familiar with Your Game award.
Dude, there's a lot of people that can win this one. For the team that is getting healthy at the right time, we're calling this the Call the Ambulance, but not for me.
For the team or player we can't really explain, but it gets the kids going, the 6-7 award.
6-7.
Nice.
That's a good one. That's a good one. For the veteran that is still balling out, it's the Unk Still Got It. Oh, I'm not familiar with this meme. What's this meme? Can I see this one?
Unk Still Got It. That boy going crazy.
Unk Still Got It.
You see him jump roping on his ass. Hell yeah, Unk still got it.
I mean, that's impressive. It's impressive that Unk ever had that.
Jason Kelce didn't ease into the conversation. He charged at it head first. Right from the opening seconds of the latest New Heights podcast episode, he tackled the one topic the entire sports world had been buzzing about: his brother Travis Kelce's injury. The tone was serious, even for Jason, whose humor usually softens even the tensest subjects. But this time, there was no sidestepping the brutal reality. The hit Travis took from Buffalo's Cole Bishop had rattled more than just the Chiefs' game plan. It sent shockwaves through the league and beyond. Jason recounted the collision vividly, the kind of moment you don't forget. It was like the air got sucked out of the stadium, he said, describing how Travis lay still on the turf while the crowd froze. The replay looped endlessly online, fans dissecting every angle, debating whether Bishop's hit was a textbook tackle or a blatant shot at a defenseless receiver. It wasn't just a play, it became a moment of controversy, drawing attention to the NFL's ongoing struggle with consistency in player safety rulings. Even though Travis got back up and returned for the second half, the conversation had already escaped the boundaries of the field. People wanted answers. Was this another case of the league turning a blind eye to hits that should have drawn penalties? Social media was ablaze with comparisons, like Washington's Quan Martin, who had been fined more than $11,000 earlier in the season for a similar hit. Fans accused the NFL of selective enforcement. Analysts demanded clarity. The silence from the league only fueled the fire. The fact that this wasn't just any player but Travis Kelce, a two-time Super Bowl champion, cultural icon, and the man currently sharing headlines with Taylor Swift, only intensified the scrutiny. The NFL wasn't just reviewing a hit. It was managing an incident involving one of the most visible faces in sports and entertainment. Meanwhile, Jason Kelce's own story had been evolving in remarkable ways since his retirement in 2024. Walking away from the Philadelphia Eagles after a Hall of Fame-worthy career, Jason didn't drift into obscurity. He accelerated into a new spotlight. His transition from the field to the analyst's desk at ESPN was seamless, a natural next step for someone who'd already mastered the art of connecting with audiences through the New Heights podcast. For years, New Heights had been a hidden gem among sports podcasts, two brothers, raw and unfiltered, breaking down football and family life with equal passion. But when Travis started dating Taylor Swift, the show's orbit expanded overnight. Millions of Swifties, fans who might never have watched an NFL game, suddenly tuned in weekly to hear about plays, penalties, and personal moments. And then came the episode that changed everything. Taylor Swift herself appeared on New Heights to announce her 12th studio album, The Life of a Showgirl. It was a moment no one saw coming. The episode, dubbed the AG-13 broadcast, shattered records. 1.3 million live viewers and over 24 million replays within days. The internet exploded. Taylor wasn't there to just promote music. She came ready to talk. From reclaiming her masters to closing the Eras tour, she opened up like never before. Jason, who admitted later that he'd been nervous to get it right, handled the moment with sincerity and respect, letting Taylor take the lead. When asked later by USA Today if he'd imagined their podcast setting such a record, Jason laughed it off. "Taylor killed it," he said. "Her trusting us with something that important. That's what made it special. If it hadn't gone well, we'd have felt awful. But it did go well. It went better than anyone imagined. The YouTube comments turned into a sea of praise. "Props to Jason for doing one of the best Taylor Swift interviews ever," one viewer wrote, earning over 24,000 likes. That episode didn't just break records, it changed the perception of what New Heights could be. What started as a football podcast had become a cultural touchstone, bridging two worlds that rarely met, the NFL and the pop universe. As the New Heights fan base grew, the Kelce brothers leaned into their new role as entertainers, not just athletes. Their banter, honest, unfiltered, and often hilarious, kept listeners hooked long after Taylor's episode aired. It was the authenticity that did it. Whether Jason was teasing Travis about his dance moves or Travis was sharing glimpses of his life with Taylor, fans could feel the realness. And that authenticity carried over even when things got tough. When the footage of the Cole Bishop hit went viral, New Heights became the front line for discussion. Jason didn't shy away from analyzing it. He replayed the moment on air, breaking down the technique, the angles, and the emotional toll of watching his brother get rocked. It wasn't just commentary. It was personal. "You don't stop being a big brother just because you retired," Jason said, his tone steady but filled with emotion. The NFL's delayed response only amplified the conversation. Fans questioned why no penalty was issued. The rules around defenseless receivers seemed crystal clear, yet the officials stayed silent. And the longer they did, the louder the debate grew. Every sports show picked it apart. Every fan account turned into an amateur rules analyst. Travis, meanwhile, tried to keep his focus on recovery and resilience. But his name wasn't just tied to the Chiefs anymore, it was tied to Taylor Swift, to pop culture, to the collective fascination of millions who followed every update. The collision wasn't just a sports story, it became a global talking point. As Jason and Travis continued releasing New Heights episodes, the show began to serve as a bridge between those two worlds. One week, Jason would discuss offensive line strategies with precision and passion. The next, Travis might mention a surprise Taylor appearance or an upcoming music event. Fans who came for Taylor stayed for the football. Those who came for the football found themselves drawn into the human side of fame. And through it all, Jason remained the anchor, grounded, relatable, and endlessly thoughtful. He often reflected on how strange it felt to go from Super Bowl champion to podcast host to media figure. "Life doesn't really slow down," he said during one episode. "You just trade one kind of pressure for another." The brothers' bond remained at the core of it all. That brotherhood, built through years of shared battles, victories, and heartbreak, became the heart of New Heights. No matter how big their audience grew or how many headlines surrounded them, their conversations never lost that warmth. Yet, there was no denying the added pressure. Every move Travis made, every word Jason said, was magnified by the scale of their fame. Taylor Swift's relationship with Travis had turned their lives into a public fascination. Every game day glance, every post, every playful mention on the podcast sparked discussion across fan bases that rarely intersected before. And now, with the NFL facing renewed scrutiny over its player safety policies, Travis's name once again sits at the center of a broader debate. Would the league fine Bishop as it had fined others before? Or would this be another case where the rules bent around the weight of celebrity? The answer remains uncertain, but one thing's clear. The Kelce brothers' voices will be part of whatever conversation follows. As the season unfolds and the league reviews its stance, Jason and Travis continue to command attention, not just as athletes or media personalities, but as symbols of how sports, fame, and authenticity can merge in today's culture. Their podcast isn't just about plays and penalties anymore. It's about family, resilience, and navigating the spotlight with honesty. Whether it's breaking down game footage or celebrating Taylor's creative triumphs, New Heights captures something rare, A reminder that even under the glare of fame, genuine connection still matters. And as fans wait for updates on Travis's health, on the NFL's decision, on Taylor's next surprise appearance, one thing keeps them coming back week after week, that unmistakable Kelce chemistry. It's raw, it's real, and it's impossible to look away. Because at the end of the day, the story of the Kelce brothers isn't just about football or fame. It's about family, loyalty, and the kind of bond that keeps us all watching, waiting, and wanting more.